أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. يؤتي الحكمة من يشاء ومن يؤت الحكمة فقد أوتي خيرا كثيرا وما يذكر إلا أولو الألباب. Translation: He bestows wisdom upon anyone He wills, and he who is given wisdom is in fact given great wealth. But only those who have common sense learn lessons from these things. صدق الله العظيم.
Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Honorable Principal, Air Vice Marshal Qasim Masood Khan, esteemed faculty members, Sargodhians, ladies and gentlemen. It's my proud privilege to welcome you all to the grand finale of Inter-House Jam Competition 2018-19. After Air Marshal Masood put us on the road to Jam, a system had to be devised to turn it into an annual event. It was decided to conduct the activity in 3 phases. In the first phase, the entry competition is conducted at the house level. Everyone in each entry has to participate in multiple jam competitions held throughout the year. This phase enables the house to select a 5-member team, 1 boy from each entry, to represent the house in the second phase at the annual intra-entry jam competition held in the Rahman Auditorium, witnessed by the entry itself. House positions are determined on the basis of the total team score. Top team is given 6 points and so on to decide the Jam trophy. The third phase, where the Jam King is selected, is played between the entry toppers in front of the entire college. We enter this third phase of the competition today. Ladies and gentlemen, let's get the ball rolling. I'll request you all to give the entry champions a warm welcome as they take their places on the stage. Entry champions. These entry champions will now compete for the coveted title of the Jam King 2018-19. The chairperson, Wing Commander Shamila Sayed, the judges, Squad Leader Azra Malik and Squad Leader Rihana Alam, the timekeeper Hassan Faizan and the system operator Malik Hassan are requested to take their seats as well. Thank you. Dear competitors, please listen to me carefully as I give you the rules. The panelists shall play 2 rounds. The first round will be the usual jam session. However, in the second round, participants shall speak uninterrupted for the entire length of a minute without being challenged. The chairperson will take out draws to allot a subject to the player. The player shall try to speak on the topic for 60 seconds without hesitation, repetition, or deviation. The other panelist can challenge at any time, and if the chairperson upholds the challenge, they take over the subject, and if not, the person speaking continues with the subject. Hesitation is watched very strictly. A momentary pause in speaking Tripping over one's word, even pausing during audience laughter or applause, can give rise to a successful challenge. Purposeful lengthening of the syllables to buy thinking time can also be challenged. Repetition means the repetition of any word or phrase again and again. Challenge is based upon very common grammar words such as and are generally rejected. Even letters cannot be repeated. For example, the term BBC must be avoided as it can be successfully challenged for repetition of B. Words contained in the given subject, however, can be repeated. Deviation means deviating from the given subject, deviation from English grammar, deviating from the truth, and deviating from logic. However, to encourage young players to speak English, deviation from English grammar shall not be challenged in the first round, although accuracy will win points in the 1 minute uninterrupted speeches. No argument with the chairperson shall be tolerated. Rules for scoring are as follows. 2 points are awarded if a panelist speaks for the entire minute without being challenged. A panelist scores 1 point for making a correct challenge. The speaker gets a point for an incorrect challenge. If a witty interjection amuses the audience but is not a correct challenge, at the chairperson's discretion, the challenger can nevertheless be awarded an extra point. This is called the bonus point. The person speaking when the whistle blows after 60 seconds also scores a point. With a final reminder to all Sargodhians to remain quiet and contain their excitement, I'll request the chairperson to take over the proceedings. Ma'am, please.
Thank you, Azhar.
Adil Raza from Iqbal House.
I am Ali Abbas from Iqbal House, 48th entry.
I am Arhamullah from 49th entry, Minhas House. Alauddin House, sorry.
I am Muhammad Anisur Rahman from 51st entry. I am from Alam House.
I am Muzaffar bin Naim from Yunus House.
Please hold the mics close to you when you speak. We'll start with you, Sarabil, and the subject you get to speak on. When I look into the mirror, I see.
When I look into mirror, I see a beautiful gentleman standing, staring right into his eyes with motivation and passion. He will go and do something in his life that is great and that will not be overcome. I want to be remembered. In that mirror, I see difficulties and problems that I have always faced, and I will overcome them by the time when I grow up and see my parents seeing me as a beautiful man and a gentleman who does not look up.
A man is not beautiful, he is handsome.
Sorry?
A man is not beautiful, he is handsome.
Man can be beautiful and handsome as well.
Ali, I'm not going to give you that point. Excuse me. Sarabil, -1. You made a wonderful start, Sarabil. You may continue.
So the beautiful gentleman starts talking now once again. Now what does he see?
Sorry?
He sees passion.
Hold on.
Repetition of beautiful. He said it
Repetition was
previously.
Beautiful, yes. That's a correct challenge. Anis?
When I look into the mirror, I see a very beautiful man standing.
Repetition of his ideas. Beautiful gentleman. Mirroring ideas is not allowed.
If he thinks he's beautiful as well, I wouldn't call that repetition. So please continue with your... Please go on.
When I look into the mirror, I see a handsome boy standing right in front. I see
Ma'am, hesitation.
Yes, hesitation was there. Huzaifa, you may continue. You may continue to speak on the same topic for 28 more seconds. Start now.
When I see in the mirror, I see a very beautiful gentleman.
repetition of C. The topic is when I look into the mirror.
Ma'am, I didn't see it.
He said when I see the mirror, I see. He said C twice.
Judges? Yeah, I think that is... Please continue on the same topic. Start now.
When I look into the mirror, I look that I am.
Ma'am, hesitation.
Yes, there was a hesitation. You may start now.
When I look into the mirror, I am seeing a very beautiful gentleman. Yes.
Ma'am, seeing.
Ma'am, I said see and I am saying see, seeing. See, seeing. See, seeing.
I'll grant you that challenge. Please continue, Arham.
When I look into the mirror, I see a handsome boy with big eyes and big face.
Memorization.
I don't think so. Huzaifa, that was a -1 for you. Please continue.
Whenever I look into the mirror, I see a talented man standing in front of me.
Repetition of man.
Ma'am, I said boy.
He did. So, you may take over the topic for 9 more seconds starting now.
Whenever I look into the mirror, I see...
Repetition of whenever. He said it previously.
Start.
When I look into the mirror, I see a boy.
Ma'am, I see he repeated the same sentence. When I look into the mirror, I see...
I'm not going to allow that challenge. Please, I'll consider that as a topic. So please continue. I'll take -1 for you, Arham. Please start.
When I look into the mirror, I see a basketball player standing right in front.
Anis gets a bonus point for being the last person speaking. The second topic of the day, Ali, you get to speak on rich and ugly or poor and good looking. Rich and ugly, poor or good looking, choose.
I have been given two choices, rich and ugly, poor or good looking. I'll choose the second one, poor and good looking, because I want to be a good looking person whatever the case is. Because
Yeah. Sarabi?
Now, they say that riches do not buy you a good life, but still, it's better
Ma'am,
to...
he take a pause.
Yes, that was a hesitation noticeable. Continue, please.
Rich and ugly or poor but handsome. I say a person should be rich because if it would be that, he could do some...
Ma'am, he has hesitated.
Yeah, he has. Okay. Arham gets 1 point. Please continue.
Could you repeat the topic? Topic, ma'am, topic. Repeat the topic, please.
Rich and ugly or poor and good looking. Start.
I would definitely choose rich and ugly because if a person is ugly and he is rich, all the girls will follow him and will lead him towards success. Rich is being in this world is so important, as in our college, the person who is rich is very talented and always preferred by the friends.
He said person before. Repetition of person. A person who is rich.
Judges?
Topic.
He said person before.
Topic, part of the topic.
Topic
don't
is
think
rich
so.
or ugly or rich and ugly or poor or good looking.
I don't think so. Judges?
Ma'am, he repeated person.
I don't think so, Anis, so I'll give you a -1 and please continue.
Rich or ugly? I will choose ugly because if a person is ugly and rich, he will definitely
Ma'am, now he
succeed.
repeated person.
Now he has repeated the same word. You have 12 seconds more to speak on the same topic. Start now.
If you have given two choices that you will be rich or ugly and poor or good looking, I will choose if I would be rich or ugly. This is because a rich man has everything in his life. What happens if he is ugly?
One bonus point there. And the third topic of the day goes to you, Arham, and the topic is interviews. Start now.
Oh, interviews. First, let me tell you what are interviews. Interviews are conducted by the accounts and people who are going to test you. As in our college, when I came to here, I was interviewed by the principal and...
I came to here.
Ma'am, no grammar check.
No grammar checks. Sarabil. -1. Please continue.
As interview is very important for you, as the pre-cadet of Pakistan Air Force College Sargodha goes for the ISSB, he has to face the interview by the accountant and the people.
Repetition
sitting
of
over there.
accountant. He said it previously. Interview is taken by an accountant or person. Ma'am, he repeated accountant. He said it previously that interviews are taken by an accountant or person.
Okay. I will have to know. Please continue, Anis.
As I am in PAF College Sargodha, there are many types of things that I need to pass. One of them is an interview. I was
Ma'am, hesitation.
Yes, hesitation.
Ma'am,
Take
time.
over the topic. Interviews
Time.
for 31 more seconds.
Interviews are very important in my life because when I give one, I am very proud.
hesitation.
No, I don't think so. -1, Anis. That was not a very perceptible hesitation. Continue.
I am ready to face the challenges of life by doing an interview. The first time I did one was with Sir Principal. I was very proud that I am sitting in front of an air marshal. But there was
Hesitation. But after
Slight
that he hesitated.
yes. Take over the topic for 15 more seconds.
I saw that Air Vice Marshal Qasim Masood Khan, who is retired. I entered the room and saw that he was standing right in front of me.
I saw. He repeated, I saw Air Vice Marshal Qasim, and now he
No.
repeated, I
He
saw.
did. I think he did not.
I did not said saw. I did not said saw before.
Arham -1. Please continue.
I also saw that Sir
I am
Shehzad.
now saw repetition.
Now you said. Zafar, you have 7 more seconds. Start now.
So by giving interview, I am very fine.
Yes, Sarabil, take over.
Now for the jobs, there are interviews to analyze and check the personality of a person.
Okay. You start now.
The life of a tissue is very bad. I mean, his job is to go inside a nose. And what else? Therefore,
Repetition of verse. He said this job is worse and worse. He repeated verse
No, he
twice.
did not. No. -1. Anis, please continue.
therefore, it is also spilt in water when children are playing with it. Also, the people.
Was it there a perceptible hesitation, judges? Since I don't think we three noticed it, we will not grant that.
Ma'am, excuse me.
Yeah.
Ma'am, I cannot understand what Bhai is
Yes, it is difficult to understand what you're saying. Please remove your hand from your mouth and keep the mic at a proper distance. Okay? It's difficult to understand what you're saying. Who did the check? Sarabil -1. Continue.
And the worst thing that makes his life very bad is that it is also used.
Ma'am, he repeated verse, the life of a tissue is worst, and now he repeated the same sentence verse.
Yeah. Please continue.
The life of a tissue is so bad, whenever you look into it, you are so amazed that, oh man, what's this? Whenever I use the tissue,
Repetition of whenever.
No.
No, man, he said whenever.
All right, Ali, take over.
I think the life of a tissue is very good because different people use it. It can be used by presidents.
Repetition of used. Different people use.
Yes. Please take over the subject.
Alas, the life of a tissue is very bad. People take it and they clean their.
Hesitation.
Yes, hesitation. Gentlemen, if you laugh and he pauses, he loses the turn. Please continually.
Now I have changed my opinion. I think the life of tissue is very bad because whenever
Repetition of very. The life of a tissue is very good. The life of a tissue is very bad. He repeated very.
It doesn't matter. -1, Anis, please continually.
I am again changing my views. Now I think that life of tissue is again very good because
Ma'am, now he repeated very.
The word very is a grammar word and he is allowed to repeat that. Anis, -1, Ali.
so I am transforming my thinking. I think tissue is very bad because we can put it into our pockets and just leave it there. If it goes to wash, it is washed away with and it becomes crumbled.
Hesitation.
Ma'am, tripling over words.
Ma'am, he's tripping words.
He is already challenged. You can't have
Ma'am, ma'am, can't hesitation be tripping of words? He's tripping words, ma'am. That's why he's hesitating.
Ma'am,
All right,
that
he
was
was
not the
tripping
challenge.
over.
Hesitation was the challenge.
Ma'am, I asked you before, and you said that tripping of words can come in
Tripping
hesitation.
of words does, count under the head of hesitation. So I'll give you that point. Now, please, Ali, your mic needs to be properly, at a proper distance for you to be audible. Yes, sir. Sarabil? Who was speaking? Yeah, continue, Anis.
The life of a tissue is very nice. People take it and use it. That's why it is quite useful. I see rich and poor, both people use it a lot.
Repetition of people.
Yes. Ali, you have 1 more second to speak on the topic.
The life of a tissue is very amazing.
All right. We come to you, Anis, and the last topic of the day is pretty easy. Best part of the day. Best part of the day. Start now.
For me, the best part of the day is when I change in the sleep suit and fall on my bed. This is because of the tiredness of all the day. When I do work, then I am...
Yes, hesitation, sir. We'll continue.
The best part of the day is when I enter the football field. I see Asan, the team captain of football, standing along with Sir.
Football.
Yes, repetition of football. Arham gets 1 point. Please take over the topic.
The best part of my day is when I talked to Izan Ahmed Chima of my house when he was guiding me about this competition. That was the best part of my day and I feel so proud.
Ali? -1. Continue.
The best part of my day was when Abdullah Khan prayed for me. And my parents are in America and they prayed for you because of...
Repetition of prayed.
Yes, Ali, take over. Hold the mic properly.
The best part of my day is also when I go to sleep, because in this college the routine is very hectic. You get up early in the morning and there are hells of lots of...
Yes, tripping. Sarabil, take over.
Now the best part of the day is when you look up at the clock and there are still 5 minutes remaining for the housemaster to conduct the house assembly. Now you know that Iqbal House is very famous for its traditional and
House, Iqbal House and Housemaster.
You may take over the topic for 9 more seconds. Start now.
The best part of my day was when Sir Patni told me that Arham, you can do this and you have to do it. That was the best part of my day and I was so amazed.
With that, we come to the end of the first round. You got a bonus point there. And now we go into the second round where the speakers get to talk without being interrupted. And we'll start with you, Sarabil. And your topic is happiness means.
street philosopher Drake once says, and I quote, "In the end you win some and you lose some, as long as the outcome is income. I want some and then some." Now life revolves around the real origin, and that is you. What you want, what you desire is up to you. You want little or you want big, that's also on you. Motivation, everything that happens in life is for reason. But we, the humans, look onto the smaller picture. The God Almighty has created this world, this universe. He is seeing the bigger picture. He is seeing the real side of the story. And that is that you are gifted. You are blessed. You have shelter. You have food to eat. You have everything. So why to curse? Why to be sad when there's all the blessing you're living? Every moment can be your last. So live it like you have no days left for yourself. They say it doesn't matter how hard you hit. What matters is how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward in life. Keep pursuing up your goals. And that is what makes a real man.
But the risk should be calculated, because it's a philosophy that in life play fair and play safe. But sometimes taking risk is very important, because when you look at the life of the business tycoons, you see that they started their business by taking risks. You can see the life of the owner of KFC. He failed many times while establishing his business. He lost many times, but he kept on doing that thing. If we look into the life of Elon Musk, we can see that he founded the company SpaceX. What happened there? That he launched his rockets 3 times. He lost a lot of money, but he kept on. He took a risk. Now he had been left with the money of only 4th launch, but he risked it. The launch was successful, and it was the first private launched spaceship in the space in the history of space. So I think that taking risk is very important. Our college also teaches us to take risks at different parts of your life. Now, in the life of Holy Prophet ﷺ, we also see
the topic that I'll give to you is should boys cry? Start now.
Okay, so let me tell you, should boys cry or not? Definitely they should cry. When people came to this college, they cry a lot. The boys of 8th class sitting over there, they are knowing what I'm saying. But when they go to 2nd year, they stop crying because they think that we are strong and crying is a bad thing. No, Mr. President, crying is not a bad thing. We should cry if we have some guilt in us. Like Sapatni caught me whilst I was smoking in my house, and on that day I cried a lot and I sorried him, and that he said that no problem, I will leave this case to you. And so crying is so important for us, and it will give you some pleasure and you will lose your feelings that was telling you time to time. I cried a lot when I was in 8th class, and now I also cry when I am in some problem and I am facing some difficulties. I don't go to my housemaster Sararif, instead I cry in the washroom, told my friends that I have this idea, and they stopped me from this thing. So crying is so important for us.
The topic for you, Huzaifa. What I often forget.
What I often forget.
What I often forget. Start now.
What I often forget is taking the report of 8th class. I once remember I called them at 2 o'clock and left them at 4 o'clock. I was so amazed that why do I forget things like that. So I think that this is a very bad thing that you forget things that happen to you. But it is a part of life and you have to face it. I often forget to report my seniors like Hassan Bhai, and then I am doing frog jumps in front of the house. Well, these are some truths that I will not hide from you, but I have to face these. So I am a very person who forgets things, and I admit it. But I pray to God that I become a very good person in the future and lead this world and do not forget anything. So forgetting things is not a bad thing. That is my conclusion of today's talk, and I would recommend all the Sargodhians to not forget anything that comes in their life, so that they may lead them with excellence and dignity. And forgetting things is not a very good thing at all, but sometimes you have to face it to become a good person in life.
The topic for you, Anis. The last topic for the day. 3 things I can't live without. Start now.
3 things that I can't live without. One of it is my mother. Yes, it is true, I cannot live without my mother, but I have to in this college. Another thing that I cannot live without is food. As you know, I am quite fat, and all my friends also call me that you eat a lot. Not in the mess, but in the canteen. I know this is a bad thing, but this should not be done. But still, I cannot live without it. Another thing that I can't live without is my tablet. Yes, my mobile phone. I can't live without it, and nor all the pre-cadets and all the faculty members cannot also live without their mobile. What would they do without a mobile? But we have to. 2 things in this college which teaches us that if you are separated from your parents, nothing happens. You can live without them, but not food, of course. Because food is very nice and it is very tasty also. I cannot
With that, we come to the end of the session today. While we compile the results, I think the head boy will announce a video. Gentlemen, you can go and watch it from the audience.
Of a relevant video. Think fast, talk smart. Ladies and gentlemen, the results are with me. But before announcing the result, I would like to thank the principal for the addition of such a fine competition in the college calendar. Moreover, we are thankful to the vice principal and the college admin officer for best moral support. It is my duty to thank our honorable judges who gave us more than a week for judgments. We need to appreciate Flight Lieutenant Mubin and his team for designing the jam apparatus, which made the chairperson's life much easier. Moreover, we also need to thank OIC PA system, squadron leader Khurram, Zafar Bhai, and OIC photo section, Flight Lieutenant Aladino, and our college photographer Abdullah Bhai. Before I announce the results of jam competition, I would request our worthy chief guest to please come and give away the prizes to the winners of Urdu and English essay competition held earlier in the year. Sir, please. First to come is the entry champion of 51st entry, Muhammad Anisur Rahman. Entry champion of 50th entry, Huzaifa bin Naeem of Yunus House. Entry champion of 49th entry, Arhamullah of Alauddin House. Ali Abbas of Iqbal House, entry champion of 48th entry. And the entry champion of 47th entry, Muhammad Surabil Raza. Now, ladies and gentlemen, it is time to announce the much awaited winner of Jam King title. The Jam King this year is Surabil Raza of Iqbal House. Ladies and gentlemen, what's a king without a crown? The Hobbies Club has a special surprise for us. Sir, we have a special offering for the Jam King of the college. Sir, could you please do the honors?
What's a king without Should he keep wearing it? Appreciate these two boys, Daniel and Usama.
Now, the house positions this year. At 6 stood Rafiki House. Fifth position goes to Yunus House. At 4th stands Alaudinians. Second position is shared between Iqbal and Alam House. The Inter-House Jam Trophy 2018-19 goes to Munir House.
That vote for the Jam King. This is the trophy going to them. Now take up a huge.
Now I request the chief guest to please come and express his views on the occasion, sir.
Honorable members of the faculty and my dear Sargodhians, good day, isn't it? Very good day. I think no amount of appreciation for this second edition and all the effort that has gone into producing this for all of you, the Jam King competition and all the other inter-house competition preceding this can be called an exaggeration. So I must appreciate Wing Commander Shamila and her team of judges, Squadron Azra, Squadron Rehana, and of course for the overall management, the vice principal. Really very good show, Shamila. Excellent show. Very well done. And of course, I must congratulate the winners, the King and Munir House and all the other individual entry winners. Very good show, boys. Do you like this activity? I think it's a wonderful activity, really. And I must, we must all appreciate the person who introduced us to this, Air Marshal Masood. Although we reached out to him, and he, of course, then sort of gave us a few ideas, one of which was the ability, this particular thing for the express purpose of enhancing the cognitive, the intellectual, and several personality grooming aspects of our boys. And I'm sure we have more or less improved in-house quite a bit. And one of the very, very important milestones that we achieved was the good ISSB result of 46th entry. Part of that success goes to such novel things like the jam competition that we initiated last year. So it is a very interesting game, we all agree to that, but it is also one which enhances your personality aspects, your cognitive abilities, all of those get a boost. And all of you have, and your individual capacities have undergone either an intra-house competition. You have participated, all of you, isn't it? Either in the intra-house or the inter-house competition. Okay, let me do a ground check. Is there anybody who did not participate in any of these, on any of these occasions? Anybody? It's not a penalty on you. It's not something negative. You may have just missed it for X number of reasons. Anybody who could not participate at the house level, for example, please raise your hands. I will appreciate the truth sayers. Okay? Good. So can I know the reason why you did not participate better? Loudly. Okay, you sit down. No, for a good reason. This gentleman was, I'm sure if he had been available, had not gone through that tough regime of sickness and all, no, seriously boys, I think your laughter says it all, but this boy has a lot of potential. We must have respect for each one of our boys, unless proved otherwise. So the boy from here, why did you not participate? G? You were also in the hospital? Okay, then it's good enough reason. But now my request to the house masters, that if such a thing happens, let's try and, create an environment or create enough opportunity for everyone to be accounted for. That's very important. This, believe me, boys, this is a very serious talk. The aim is not to crown a jam king. The aim of this activity is not to crown a jam king or give a trophy to one of the houses. The aim is to expose each one of you to as much of this activity as possible. I would be perfectly happy if there was no trophy or if there was no crown to be laid on Sarabil's head. But I would be very, very happy, all of us, your faculty, if we knew that all 400 boys have gone through the mill in a positive way and have learned something out of it. Agreed? Boys, inshallah, you will see the changes that take place in your cognitive ability, in your ability. There is so much that you will, by way of personal development and personal improvement that will come through. And there are many things, but some of them you've already seen. Confidence building is one, public speaking is another. The ability to listen on is very important, isn't it? Otherwise, how would all those challenges take place? Correct listening. The ability to be able to put thoughts together logically and then present them within those 1 or 2 seconds. Agreed? All of this leads to what this gentleman was saying so very well. What was his name? The Stanford guy? This video that we saw? He spoke fabulously well, isn't it? Just the right things he spoke about. So this program is really all dependent on your wholehearted participation. It is for you. It is not for giving you a trophy. It is not for giving you a crown. But it is meant to make you better individuals. Okay? And this is not just, by the way, the short-term goal last year was that we prepare our boys cognitively in a way that they encounter all challenges that were coming their way in a very positive and in a very successful manner. And they did. But that is not all. It is not just about ISSB. It is not about helping you with the group discussions and with the GTO tasks and all the other lecturettes and panel discussions that you usually have during the ISSB. But it is meant to grant you or give you this personal development which will hold you in good stead all your lives, wherever you may be, in the Air Force, outside the Air Force, in Army, Navy, wherever. It will hold you in good stead, and it will be a harbinger of success for you. I can guarantee you that. So take this very seriously, this activity. In fact, we made some changes this year. And Allah willing, next year, Bin Kumar Shamila, I think we should go in with some more changes. Like for instance, I was thinking that perhaps we can, this initial round could be not one but two, isn't it? Make it more interesting and make it more representative. It will take time, yes. It will take more time. It will take maybe half an hour more. But it's worth it. This activity is worth it. So, did you enjoy it, all of you? Do you agree that we can lengthen the final competition's time and all? Number of rounds, for example? Okay. Now, boys, I am seriously asking you to make suggestions now, if you can, later on, definitely, to improve this process further. How can we make it a better process, a more effective process? Give suggestions. Really, I would appreciate anybody raising his hand and saying, sir, we need to do this and this. Like, for instance, I just said 2 rounds. You may have something else in your mind about making a suggestion. So anybody right now, if there is anything in mind, speak now. Good. Izan.
Sir, I think that jam would have more weightage than the extemporary speech.
Yes, but you see, there is a whole lot of coverage to do between this continuous speaking thing, ability, and the jamming ability, isn't it? You see, one thing is very clear. When you are jamming, when you are, let's say, doing this process of getting checked and repetition and HRD, no hesitation, repetition and deviation, while that is going on, there are too many breaks in that flow. For example, when Sarabil started, it was, I felt if he had just continued like this, for him to speak for 2 minutes was not a problem. But then that is what 50th and 51st centuries are meant for, to check their seniors. So he started off very well. But that's yet another way of testing your potential, of being able to speak at length, of being able to collate thoughts and put them in words and then speak them out for a certain length of time. Typically, this thing is going to help you wherever there are panel discussions going on. Tomorrow you may be sitting in front of Sama TV or Geo TV or whatever as an old man and be able to really speak off your cuff. There, HRD will not matter. What will matter is your ability to quickly assimilate the situation, quickly gather some points from here and there, from your memory, from your subconscious, from your experiences, and be able to put them in words for that one short time of 1 minute or 2 minutes. So both are important. Both are important. And in fact, the distinction between the best and the second best will eventually come this way. Purely from the standpoint of jamming, if we were to say who is the best, it will be difficult to make out, because there were so many breaks. And last year, actually the boy who made more challenges, a boy who had more challenges was the one who won more points. Now he did not speak much, he just challenged, and his challenge was good. So, without speaking or without showing his talent, he was able to. No, Bukhari is not for you, by the way. This can happen. In theory, this can happen. That a boy can win the jamming competition without having to say more than a few seconds or having to speak for more than a few seconds. So, to differentiate between the boys and men, or the best and the second best, this is the way. This is what will differentiate the best from the second best. Anything else?
No, sir.
But we will lengthen the jamming process session from 1 to maybe 2 rounds.
Yes, sir, that's what I'm saying.
The first 10 boys come in.
Yes, and this is another change that we are thinking of for the next year, that we do 2 rounds. We have two boys from each house, or each entry. And so we have 10 boys participate. We'll think of the modus operandi for that, but that will be more representative. More number of rounds and more boys taking part in the final round. All right, good. You better. Ibal House.
Sir, I think that the deviation from the grammar should also be considered.
It was.
No, sir. It wasn't considered. Deviation.
This year we had one concession. Pronunciation. Actually, the fact of the matter is, boys, and we all recognize this. This is what they say, कहते हैं ना, my mother was not an Englishman. ठीक है? If you understand what I'm saying. तो हमारी उस तरह की अंग्रेजी है ना. My mother was not an Englishman. So it's not our mother tongue, right? If we put in all of these other limitations, and we will slowly and gradually after we get going in maybe the second or third edition, we will not be able to proceed forward with fluency, and it will become a very drab and dry and a very boring affair. If too many challenges were taking place every second.
But still we are considering accuracy in the second round. The judges are giving more points, but still more accurate scores more in the second round. So the 5 points that we are scoring on.
Give her a mic. ठीक है. So all of these, by the way, points that you have pointed out are already part of the consideration. The only thing that we sort of gave a little bit of concession was on pronunciation.
So excuse me, the purpose of this activity is only to improve the spoken English, then it's fine. But if there are other purposes, that situational awareness or accumulation of thought, so can this activity also be carried out in Urdu?
Very good point. Very good point. And we debated last year on having a jam in Urdu. We debated that question. But for now, we thought let's stick to this one. Okay. If we have more time and more space, why not? But I can tell you that most of the discussions that you will have in your offices or in your homes and perhaps in challenging situations or testing situations like the ISB and other places, perhaps 60-70% of the activity will be in your mother tongue or in your national language, Urdu perhaps. Amir, correct me if I'm wrong. But this gives you a tremendous advantage over your competition, your competitors. Being able to be, bilingual, let's say, ability to be able to speak equally well in English and Urdu, that gives you a great advantage. So we will consider this, Patni sir, and if there is time and if there is effort available, why not? Amir?
They give you an opportunity that either if you want to speak in Urdu, in your mother tongue, but as being a part of this institute, they expect that the boy would go for
very important
English,
point. Did you all monitor this?
They expect from you that you would speak in English.
They expect that boys from institutions like Sargodha College, Lower Topa, Hassan Abdal, good institutions, they expect them to be different from others. Okay? All right. So I think, boys, we had an interesting edition this year. We will keep, inshallah, improving this whole thing, and Allah willing, next year, I'm sure we'll be more adept at it, we'll be more... but the more important thing to me, like I said earlier, is for the general participation to be effective. and to be as good as we would like it to be, the way we have perceived it. So each and every boy, right from the junior most entry to the senior most, get to participate wholeheartedly in their house competitions, and that will satisfy the entire purpose of this activity.
Sir, the boy who is willing to participate this year should not be participating next year. This should be the point, that every boy should be having the opportunity to participate every year.
Another good point. We are thinking about it, just like so we debated it, me and Wing Commander Shamila, and we said that of the 2 participants on the senior side and 3 on the junior side, we'll give the house the option to repeat 1 boy. Okay? So there will be per force 1 change at least every year. So 1 boy can be repeated. Will that be okay? Yes. Fair enough? Huh? Give opportunity to others also, and not just that Mr. Bukhari, right from class 8 to class 2nd, represents Munir House. He may do so, but others cannot, others with him, his teammates, will not be able to do so. They will have to keep changing. The house will have to keep changing that other competitor. Okay, any other?
So my point is that the fluency should be also counted in the first session, because I mean, if a person is speaking for 30 seconds and then he gets checked, and another person who gets the check in 2 seconds, he gets 2 points, and the person who is speaking for 30 seconds.
You have just, repeated my own thought. Believe me, this is exactly what I would have told Wing Commander Shamila. Thank you for saying this. That a boy, you want to clap for him? Do so. Good point. For example, Sarabil started speaking very well for 30 seconds. And if he's checked, before the challenge may be good, successful. But that 30 seconds must carry some weight or some credit. Okay, we'll debate this. But this to me also is something more fair to do. No, we can have some checkpoints. Anybody speaking continuously more than 15 seconds unchecked will automatically get this point, extra point. Anybody speaking unchecked for 30 seconds will get another extra point. Something like that. I think we should honor and give credit to people who manage to go unchecked. I mean, this is discredit to guys who are supposed to check him, and credit to this man who's managed to avoid that challenge. Okay, boy, good. Anybody else? All right. We have Jummah prayer also today, and I have to, and a photograph also. Okay, last point.
One last thing, that there is wrong also. Now, his role should be enhanced. That now he should act as a coach. He should guide those pre-cadets, junior pre-cadets, what sort of his planning, or he should give tips to the juniors, especially to the...
Has everybody heard this? Okay, what the college counselor, Scholar Ahmed, is saying is that with a crown on his head, Sarabil should become a sort of a coach for others in the college. I think it's a very good point. Let's clap for this point. Sarabil, tough days ahead for you.
He was in charge
Oh, we could have a college jam society or something, and he could be the leader of that, the commander of that society, secretary of the society. Yeah? Okay? Let's create one. ठीक है ना? Let's create one. Just like the literary society will be given. All right? Good. So once again, congratulations to the winners. Congratulations to Munir House. Very well done, beta. Thank you very much for... Thank you very much for putting your heart and soul in this activity. We are all very happy with it. And once again, I'd like to thank the Vice Principal, Wing Commander Shamila, and the judges for a good show. Housemasters, good work done all through the year. I hope this jamming thing will continue the way we have conceived it to continue every one, at least once a week, every month, isn't it? So please maintain that, all right, all housemasters. Thank you, everybody. May Allah be with you every step of the way. Good show.
Panelists are requested to come to the stage for a group photograph, and the faculty will proceed to the staff room for tea. Thank you.